Imagine this. You're walking into a prestigious bank, dressed sharply, carrying a legitimate $200,000 check from a reputable source, ready to make a simple deposit into your business account. But instead of smooth service, you're met with suspicion, hesitation, and outright doubt, just because of the color of your skin. What happens when the person they've been profiling turns out to be one of the most powerful law enforcement officials in the country? A shocking twist that exposes hidden biases and changes everything. This is the incredible true-inspired story of Deputy Director Jordan Hale, a trailblazing Black woman at the FBI who faced racial profiling head-on and emerged stronger than ever. Stay tuned till the end because this story will inspire you to stand tall against injustice. And if it moves you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Real Life Stories New for more empowering real-life tales that remind us truth always prevails. The marble floors of Grand Anthem and Federal Trust gleamed under the bright lobby lights, reflecting the polished world of high finance where billion-dollar deals happened with a handshake or a nod. It was a place of power, precision, and unspoken rules. Everyone knew their place in this orderly, almost sterile environment. Expensive suits rustled by, high-end gadgets beeped softly, and the aroma of fresh coffee mingled with the quiet hum of transactions. But on this ordinary morning, something extraordinary was about to unfold. Jordan Hale stepped through the grand doors with the confidence of someone who had earned her place in the world 1,000 times over. She wasn't rushing. Her steps were deliberate, her dark green trench coat swaying slightly with each measured stride. Her heels clicked rhythmically on the marble, drawing subtle glances from those around her. It wasn't her outfit that turned heads, practical yet elegant, with polished shoes and natural hair pulled back neatly. No, it was her presence, an aura of quiet authority, understated strength, and unshakable poise. Jordan was a Black woman in her prime, a force who had climbed the ranks through sheer intelligence, dedication, and resilience. As the deputy director of the FBI, she commanded respect in rooms filled with the nation's top leaders. But here, in this bank, she was just another customer, or so they thought. She approached the teller counter, her gaze steady as she selected young Chelsea behind the glass partition. In her hand was a substantial check, $200,000, drawn from Legacy Capital, a solid and established institution. This wasn't pocket change. It represented hard-won success, perhaps from a major contract or settlement. "Good morning," Jordan said calmly, sliding the check and her ID across the counter. Her voice carried an edge of professionalism, clear, direct, the kind honed from years of leading investigations and making tough calls. Chelsea, the young teller, took the items with a polite smile that quickly faltered. Her eyes widened at the amount, flicking between the check, Jordan's ID, and back again. A momentary hesitation, but it was enough to set the tone. I'll need to get a manager to approve this," Chelsea stammered, standing up a bit too abruptly as if compelled by some unspoken protocol. Jordan simply nodded, her expression unchanging. She had seen this before, the subtle doubt, the extra scrutiny that seemed to follow people who looked like her into places like this. Across the lobby, branch manager Richard Calloway had already noticed the exchange. His eyes narrowed as he spotted the check's value, and a skeptical frown creased his face. He approached with a forced smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Ma'am," he began, his tone polite but laced with strain, "may I ask where you received this check from?" Jordan met his gaze directly, tilting her head slightly. "Maybe from a client," she replied evenly, without defensiveness or elaboration. She wasn't here to justify her existence. Calloway pressed on. "You're looking to deposit it into your business account." "Yes," Jordan confirmed simply. He paused, his mind clearly racing through assumptions. "Do you mind if I take a moment to verify a few things?" Jordan remained unfazed. "You don't need my permission. Go ahead." As Calloway walked away, Chelsea sank back into her seat awkwardly, avoiding eye contact. Jordan stood there, calm and composed, knowing exactly what this was. It wasn't about the check's legitimacy. It was profiling, pure and simple. The kind that Black professionals faced far too often: extra questions, delayed service, the presumption of fraud just for daring to handle significant money. 5 minutes stretched into tension-filled silence. Calloway returned, his voice louder now, as if to justify his actions to the growing audience of onlookers. "I've placed a call to the issuing bank," he announced stiffly. "And just so you're aware, I've also contacted the authorities." Chelsea's eyes widened in surprise. The lobby seemed to hold its breath. "You called the police?" Jordan asked quietly, her tone chilling in its restraint. "The FBI," Calloway corrected, defensive now. "Just as a precaution. If the check is legitimate, there's no issue." Jordan's eyes locked onto his. "No," she said flatly. "This isn't protocol, this is profiling." The word landed like a thunderbolt. Profiling. Everyone nearby knew what it meant. A black woman with a large check being treated as suspicious simply because she didn't fit their narrow idea of who belonged handling such sums. Onlookers shifted uncomfortably, pretending not to stare, but the discomfort was palpable. The security guard by the door touched his radio nervously. Chelsea fidgeted with her scarf. "We're just being thorough," Calloway muttered, his composure cracking. "I understand competence," Jordan replied coolly, "but this is something else entirely." Suddenly, the lobby doors swung open. 2 men in crisp dark suits entered with purpose, FBI agents Levon and Ortiz. The room froze as they strode toward the counter. Calloway exhaled in relief, thinking reinforcements had arrived for his precaution. "Thank you for coming so quickly," he said eagerly. "We believe we may be dealing with a fraudulent instrument." But the agents ignored him. Their focus was solely on Jordan. The taller one, Agent Levon, nodded respectfully. The younger, Agent Ortiz, stepped forward with a knowing smile. "Deputy Director Hale," he said clearly. "We didn't expect to find you here." Shock rippled through the lobby like electricity. Chelsea's pen clattered to the desk. Calloway's face drained of color, his mouth agape in realization. The woman he had doubted, questioned, and reported wasn't some anonymous customer. She was Jordan Hale, Deputy Director of the FBI, one of the highest-ranking officials in federal law enforcement, a leader responsible for overseeing critical operations nationwide. "I was making a deposit," Jordan replied calmly, her voice carrying the weight of authority earned through decades of service. Agent Levon turned to Calloway sharply. "Sir, you called federal law enforcement to investigate a federal official." Calloway stammered, speechless. Chelsea whispered in disbelief. "You didn't ask." Agent Ortiz examined the check briefly, then set it down. "It's valid," he stated firmly, "and so is her ID." He looked coldly at Calloway. "You've profiled the deputy director of the bureau." Silence engulfed the room. Jordan neatly folded the check, slipped it into her clutch, and declared, "I'll be withdrawing my business account." She turned and walked out with the same measured grace she had entered, head high, no dramatics needed. Her presence had said everything. Calloway stood frozen, his career flashing before him. The bank didn't crumble that day, but reputations did. Jordan drove away, reflecting in her car. This wasn't new, the microaggressions, the doubts, the extra hurdles black women faced in professional spaces. But she refused to let it diminish her. Her phone buzzed, a text from Agent Levon. "You good?" "Always," she replied with a smile. That evening, a nervous voicemail from Calloway arrived. Apologies, claims of misunderstanding. Jordan deleted it midway. She poured a glass of water and thought about the bigger picture, not revenge, but change. The next day, Chelsea appeared at Jordan's door, envelope in hand. "I had to find you," she said breathlessly. "I'm quitting, I couldn't stay part of that." Inside was her resignation letter. Jordan nodded understandingly. "What will you do next?" "Something better," Chelsea smiled faintly. Word spread quietly but swiftly. Grand Anthem and Federal Trust saw an immediate large asset withdrawal. No fanfare, no scandal, just consequences. Whispers in financial circles questioned protocols and biases. Weeks later, at a high-profile gala honoring FBI leaders, Jordan took the stage amid swelling applause. Without notes, she spoke from the heart. "When I walked into that bank, I wasn't asking for applause or special treatment. I was asking to be seen as a professional, as neutral, as a person deserving of basic respect. What I received was suspicion, presumption of guilt without evidence. a script too many of us know by heart. The audience leaned in. But when assumptions meet truth, only one survives. I didn't walk out alone. Thousands who have faced similar doubts walked with me. We show up anyway, excel anyway, lead anyway. That's our power. Applause thundered, genuine, resounding. Agent Levon later handed her a drink. "You're making waves." Jordan gazed at the city skyline. "Waves don't ask permission." Soon, a leaked internal memo referenced updated protocols for engaging high-profile clients and addressing implicit bias. No names needed. The message was clear. They had underestimated the wrong woman. This story isn't just about one incident. It's a reminder that bias thrives in silence, but courage exposes it. Jordan Hale didn't seek the spotlight that day, but she owned it. She turned profiling into a platform for progress, inspiring countless others to demand fairness, to rise above doubt, and to remember, your worth isn't determined by others' assumptions. Think about your own life. Have you faced moments where you were judged before being known? Remember Jordan's poise. Stay calm, stand firm, let truth speak. You are capable, you are worthy, you are powerful. Never let anyone's bias dim your light. Keep pushing forward because, like Jordan, you can turn obstacles into opportunities for growth and change. If this story fired you up, motivated you to be bolder in your own journey, or reminded you of the importance of fighting injustice, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button to let YouTube know this content matters. Share this video with friends, family, anyone who needs inspiration today. Let's spread empowerment far and wide. And most importantly, subscribe to Real Life Stories new right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could change your perspective or ignite your motivation. We're aiming for 10,000 subscribers to keep bringing you these real-life gems that prove resilience wins every time. Together, we can build a community of inspired, unstoppable people. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay true, and I'll see you in the next story.